Hi guys, I am Aayushi Rajput. I'm a graduate of NLU Patiala and an educator at Unacademy for the CLAT category. Now, I'm back with another famous legal personality for you, and I'm sure you must have all heard this name. Even if you're somebody who does not associate yourself with the legal fraternity, but still, Kapil Sibbal is a name that rings a bell to almost every Indian. So he's one of those famous lawyers of our times that we hear about, read about, or see him in the news every now and then. But then, a lot of you law aspirants, you must always feel like, okay, what does it take to become like him? How can we be the next famous legal person in India? So obviously it is a long journey. Litigation, as they say, can be very tiring, very time consuming, but the rewards that you get if you succeed as a litigating lawyer are again tenfolds the amount of time and effort and sacrifices that you've put through in your journey. So yes, today we're going to talk about none other than Mr. Kapil Sibbal, who's a senior advocate in the Supreme Court of India and as well as a politician. He has two other qualities as well that many of you might not be aware of. He's a writer as well as a poet. He's published a lot of books where he's distinguished. He has displayed a lot of his poems that he's written, and if you read those poems, they're actually very good. So apart from being a lawyer and a politician, he's of course a writer and a poet. So how did this journey start? So Mr. Kapil Sibbal did his LLB. First of all, this was the time when you did not have the 5-year integrated degree. So initially he did his his BA, then his MA from DU, Delhi University. And then from the Faculty of Law at Delhi University, he went on to pursue his LLB. Now, after having finished his LLB, he started teaching also at some colleges in Delhi University. He actually did his BA and MA in history, so he was also teaching history at that time. And around his graduation, after graduating from LLB, this was somewhere around 1970s. In 72, he joined the Bar Association. He got himself enrolled, registered as a lawyer. But the next year itself, which is 1973, he cleared the UPSC examination. So he cleared UPSC and he was all set to become an officer in the Indian Civil Services. However, he decided not to join it. So we rarely come across people, who decline an application, who decline an offer to join the civil services. But yes, he was one of those people who in an interview he did mention about the few reasons of declining it, but anyway, he really wanted to crack UPSC and he did crack it. But eventually he decided that instead of going in that direction, he's going to continue with his legal practice. Now, his father was also a lawyer. So Mr. Sibbal was not a first generation lawyer, because his father was also a very renowned lawyer. And in fact, I think in 2004, his father was also awarded a Padma Bhushan. So you can see that he came from a legacy of lawyer, and he had this kind of legal environment at his home, which obviously helps, when you're trying to establish yourself and when you're trying to make a name for you. But like I've said, it always comes down to your own individual talent and your individual hard work and how much dedication you have for the legal field. And obviously there is no doubt about it. If you read more about Mr. Sibbal's journey, he has shown at multiple occasions his dedication for law and the amount of hard work he does. Well, interestingly, when I was in the third year of my college, NLU Patiala, I was fortunate enough to get an internship in his office. So this particular topic for today, or the legal personality for today, is a little personal for me as well, because I've personally seen him working very hard, and I've seen the kind of perfectionist environment that's there in the office. Also, he's very nice. He sometimes jokes around also, but the thing is that his determination can be felt in the office, and you also feel like, yeah, this is the kind of person I want to be, because दूर से देखने में हर किसी को बस success दिखती है, but the hard work, the dedication you put behind the success, that only few people can see. So when you're around and close to him and in his office and working under his juniors or people in his office, you feel the kind of dedication or hard work he's put to be where he is right now. Anyway, so as I was saying, so he joined the bar association, and instead of deciding to go for UPSC or deciding to join the civil services, he ultimately took the decision to continue with the practice of law. And that's when he also applied for a master's, and he got selected in Harvard for an LLM. So then in 1977, he went to Harvard, did an LLM from Harvard, and then after a while came back to India and started practicing again in India. Now from 1983, this is the time from where you actually see his career graph going really high, because 1983 is the year when he is awarded the designation of a senior advocate. So like I told you in the previous session of this series where we were talking about Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, what a senior advocate designation means. So he was awarded the designation of a senior advocate, and that I think is a very big achievement. Like, if I'm a lawyer, this is the thing that I want. I want to be, called a senior advocate one day, and that's a designation that, that the court gives you. So in 1983, he was designated as a senior advocate in the court, and from there on, after a few years, 1989, he was the Additional Solicitor General of India. He also became the President of Supreme Court Bar Council and many other things. Now the next leap in this journey came in the year 2004, when he decided to contest elections. I think 2003, 2004, but in 2004 he won the elections for a member of parliament from Chandni Chowk seat in New Delhi. He won those elections and he became a member of parliament, and then later on in the government he became the Minister of Science and Technology. And consequently, for a few more years, he held on a lot of important ministries like human resource development and law and justice. So apart from being a lawyer, around this time is when his political journey really took shape and really bear fruit into him landing a lot of important ministries, and where he was able to do a lot of groundbreaking work as well. I mean, I remember when he was a minister in HRD ministry, and they changed the class 10th board examination into the grade system and everything else. So whichever ministry he took upon, he did try to do something revolutionizing with that particular ministry. So now, apart from the legal career and the political career, there were also some important cases that that speak about his qualities, that speak about the kind of lawyer he is. For example, he was no, this is very interesting. So if you know what impeachment is, a high court or a Supreme Court judge cannot be removed from the post like as such. Okay, so for the removal of a high court or a Supreme Court judge, there is a process called impeachment. So a motion has to come in the parliament, it has to be passed by both the houses of parliament, and then only after the approval of the president, the judge can be impeached. So apparently this happened, that Justice Ramaswamy was facing impeachment proceedings in the parliament, and Mr. Kapil Sibbal defended him. So he was the lawyer who defended Justice Ramaswamy, and he successfully defended him, because ultimately we know that the impeachment did not go through. So this is very interesting that he defended a judge in the parliament against the impeachment proceedings that were brought about against the judge. And then, you know, he's also done a lot of famous cases. Like recently, if I talk about, he's been a lawyer representing one of the parties in the Ayodhya case. He's been a lawyer representing one of the parties in the Maharashtra floor test issue. Like, you know, remember 2-3 years ago when the government in Maharashtra was being formed, and BJP and Shiv Sena had this dispute, and then there was no clear majority, and then Shiv Sena and Congress formed a government, and all of those things. Then the president recommended emergency in the state, and during this whole scuffle, Mr. Sibbal was again there in the Supreme Court representing the Shiv Sena and the Congress side of the whole issue. And but he's also a very famous bail lawyer. He's been able to get bails for people that, you know, otherwise are not possible to he's been able to get bail for people that otherwise don't usually get bail. For example, some of the most difficult, complex or intricate bail petitions that have gone in front of the high courts in Delhi, Haryana, Punjab, or in front of the Supreme Court, Mr. Sibbal had been the lawyer who's been able to provide relief to his party and to get his party out on a bail. So some of those famous people recently, you know, in the past 1 year, 6 months, and in fact in the past few years, that have been able to win their bail applications, been Azam Khan. He's again a politician from UP. Then you have Nawab Malik. You have Lalu Prasad Yadav, whose bail again was accepted only when Mr. Sibbal argued the case. You remember a few years ago, Mr. P. Chidambaram, who's again a very famous lawyer, and he usually works and his work usually pertains to taxation and all of these matters. So Mr. Chidambaram was also arrested by the ED, I think, and then, you know, Mr. Sibbal was the one who represented Mr. Chidambaram also in his bail application. So for bail matters specifically, people go to Mr. Kapil Sibbal. Now, hearing all of this, you must be thinking that, you know, damn, he must be making a lot of money. Yes, he does make a lot of money. So, when you're a senior advocate and you're practicing in the Supreme Court and you have such good command of the law and you win a lot of cases, you obviously can ask a good amount of money. And so, exactly, nobody ever knows. Okay, so what is the exact amount of money that a particular lawyer charges for a case? That varies. That depends on multiple factors. Sometimes they charge a little less for a matter, sometimes they charge a little more, and you know, it will always have some fluctuations. But yes, if I have to give you a bracket, I would say it's more than 10 lakh per hearing. So for, and it's not for per case, I'm saying per hearing. So for example, if you have a case and in that particular case you have to go for 5 hearing in a particular year, like there will be 5 times that your matter will be heard in the court and your lawyer will have to be present there. So for each hearing he'll be charging you around, you know, more than 10 lakh, somewhere around higher than 10 lakh for per hearing. So and not just him, you know, a lot of other senior advocates and lawyers of his stature and his ability will charge you higher than 10 lakh per hearing. That is what the normal slab is. So it can go from 10 to 12, 15 or 16, 17 or 20. Like depends on, again, like I've said, multiple factors. Nobody can give you the exact number. But yes, that's a lot of money. Even if you pay 10 lakh per hearing, that's a lot of money. So I hope this gives you inspiration. Like for those of you whose inspiration is popularity, you get it here. Okay, and for those of you whose inspiration is politics, this man has done it, you get it here. And for those of you whose inspiration is money, again, you can get that inspiration from here. So I hope this is something that again pushed you forward in your legal journey. Hope to meet you guys again soon with another interesting legal personality. Till then, see you guys next time. Bye bye.